Welcome back to Zona Recording Studios. Today is the 2024 tour of the recording studio. Stand by. Okay, here we go. We're going to start out in the first isolation room in the studio. Here we're looking at a Yamaha hip kit that I use. It's more of a lighter sounding drum kit, but records very well. On this particular setup here, I have just a AKG mic on my kick drum, Shure SM7B on the snare, and two Rode NT1s overhead. So 4 mics totals on that setup. As I move over here, we have a Fender right here, right? Fender Deluxe. I use that one, or I use the orange amp right there. As we move over to here, I have a bunch of different pedals here. I'm a big fan of Strymon. So we have the Deco. Over here is the Flint. This is a Boost DLA. I have a Riverside. Over here I have a Fireman. This is the Reamp pedal. Another Strymon, El Capitan, and a Big Sky. Alrighty, let's move on. Here's our second isolation for drums. And here we have a DW drum kit. Kicks, rack tom, 2 floor toms, and various cymbals. I actually have 2 snares on this one. I have a piccolo snare and a regular DW snare. I think this particular setup I have 8 microphones on, 1 on the kick. I have mics on toms, 4 toms. I have 2 overheads, those are like ribbons. I have a hi-hat mic, and I have on the snare drum, I have a Earthworks DM20. Various diffusers in the room, all came from Nashville, Tennessee, as well as different panels. You can see there. And this is my hearback system for monitoring what I'm playing. This is the main room where I have my recording console. Here we have a Mark bass amp that I use. Various panels that I do for the studio. I am a seasoned pinstriper, hand striping on motorcycles and on cars and whatever else will sit still for however long I got to put lines on it. And see, I could have a lot of pinstriping in the studio, as well as this is a Motif XF8. Great keyboard, sounds good. Over here is a new addition. This is a Sonnet Echo 1 desktop. This holds my HDX card for my Pro Tools system. Here we have another direct box for the keyboards. This is my M-Box Studio that I use when I don't want to turn everything on. There's another junction box for microphones, and another here back. As we go over here, my main desk with my Mac right there. Another thing for extra drives, iPad. That's my main screen. Moving over here, everything runs through the Pro Tools Matrix 2. Then I have an Amps Neve. That's a reverb unit, as well as another reverb unit from, I think, Maris there. And these 2 guys here, I use these for injecting pedals, guitar pedals, whatever, if I want to use them on vocals or guitars or whatever. Moving up, I have a couple of 560As. Here is an API SV12 Friedenstein compressor over here. And then up on the top here I have two Aphex compressors as well. Got a lot of open areas here for more stuff. Moving on to the main event, this is my console. This is an API 2448, fully automated. Starting with the lunchbox area here on the console. I have a couple of 542s from Rupert Neve. I have some 535 compressors from Neve. This is an Alessia compressor, and this is your smart compressor. And then we move on to the top of the console. These are 8 of my Neve 551s. I have 4 of the 560s, 4 of the 550Bs, and 8 550As. So here's the mixing board in all its glory right there. And then over here is your area where you can use the transport and all that stuff and do automation, as well as it's kind of represented in this monitor that I have above. It's just basically a bigger version of the small one. Over here, of course, yes, we got speakers here. We have the Adams midfield speakers, as well as the Yamahas sitting above, right there. And here on the top of the rack on the second side, we have the hearback system. And these are all the patch bays for all the console and all that. These are my converters going into the Matrix 2. These are both Radar Ultra Nyquist. This gives me 32 in and 32 out to the console via Dante. So that's going actually into a switch. I don't know if you guys can see it there. That's the switch that you use, the network switch. So the computer gets plugged into the network switch, as well as the Matrix gets plugged in, and the radar converters go in as well. Right below it I have the Neve 1073 OPX. 8 really great microphone preamps. I like the fact that they put the preamp on the front so that if you want to plug in something quick, you can do that. Here's another Big Sky, doing some recording today. Another direct box. I have a small little rack on the side here. On this guy, we got a couple of hardware effects. I have a Yamaha XBX 2000, a Lexicon PCM 92. The next one is a Tascam. It is a DA-RA 1000 HD. That's for printing CDs or making master copies from the console, as well as an old DA-30 DAT tape, which actually sounds pretty good. Moving down, I have my tuner, and this is an 11 rack for effects and can actually be an interface as well. Moving on, next to it I have my JH110, all reconditioned by Chris Mara in Nashville. Sounds good. I run that at either a 15 or a 30 IPS. Sounds really good. I've done a couple of recordings in the studio where I record directly to the tape recorder. I'll have maybe a soloist and very simple setup, but I'll go directly to the tape deck instead of going into Pro Tools and all that kind of stuff. So that is here we go. That's what I've been using today. That's a Stratocaster. Here's more artwork. A lot of pinstriping on the walls here at Sony Recording Studios. Constantly pinstriping. I think you can see it over here as well. Yeah, right there is another one. And let's looking into the drum room. Hope you enjoyed the tour of the studio. for a very long time I was using an IS radar for my main recording rig, but it got to the point where I was doing a lot of transferring from the radar into Pro Tools, so everything would end up in Pro Tools and then be mixed and all that. So I'm like, why? It's a lot easier for me just to do it right in Pro Tools. I was able to trade in my IS radar that I had, which gave me access to the radar converters, which sound really, really good. They're really nice. I recommend them highly. Ask for Raymond at IS Radar. He's a good guy, all right? Nice seeing you guys. If you have any questions, hit me up. Have a great night.